How did the game end up 2-2?
We were lucky.
There's things that I need to address, I ain't talking 2-2. Top 3 team, but you can't tell who's who. We let Nanto run through, in no time we were down 2, but we had Sancho to turn 2.
Thank God.
What? How did the game end up 2-2? There's things that I need to address, I ain't talking 2-2. Top 3 team, but you can't tell who's who. We let Nanto run through, in no time we were down 2, but we had Sancho to turn 2.
Thank God.
What? Yo, this is the OT99 Banter Room where opinions are shared and smoke gets served. Look, we're back again with another show. It's your boy Firms, and I'm joined today by NK Edwin. Somewhere he may show up, he may not. Look, right now he's probably there, still trying to bed up Leeds supporters right about now. He's probably still at the home ground, still trying to pick a fight or something. No. But look, I think this game, NK, just shows us that we're not quite ready. I know we talk about, Erik ten Hag's mistakes. We talk about man them being out of position, not holding their shape. We talk about like missed chances, and all of these things are all like indicative of us. Like we're just not ready, man. Wherever you get that little bit of hope about, oh yeah, like can you get excited about something, you get brought down to reality. Overall, man United, we showed great strength to come back into that game. So there's a lot of positives to take from that. But at the same time, man, it's a game that we was hoping to get a win. You know what I mean? Like they was it 2 games in how many games they've played that they've won? They can't pay for a win at the minute, and they get some sort of a win, as you say, even though it was a draw, a W against Manchester United, and we only really got ourselves to blame in that. But what's your thoughts, NK? How you living, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Obviously, the game wasn't the kind of result that we were hoping for, and that's both of our games that we had in hand. Because remember, both games against Palace away from home, and then this game was games that we were supposed to play, and when the Queen kind of passed away. So we've ended up kind of drawing both games, so that's points kind of lost in that kind of attempt. We don't know what would have happened if we play those games around that time too. But yesterday, I first of all just want to give them credit for being able to get into the game from 2-0 down, because that was very difficult for the at 2-0 down. I did not see us getting back into the game or even winning it. So well done to them for getting a draw, at least from a losing position too. But ultimately, it was poor the way we started. It was really, really poor. And I think the players, I don't know what it is. This is not the first time we've had a slow start in a big match of that. This is like a rival game. We done the same thing against City when we went to their home and we were literally caught napping. And they got the first goal, and then that was it. We could not respond. So the way in which we started was just very, very, very poor, man. And they need to do better in terms of being very switch on earlier on in the game. They need to do that, man, because those kind of stuff are unacceptable. You give yourself too much of a mountain to climb,
bro. I can't even agree more. I thought Manchester United got over this hurdle. These are things that are, we were used to seeing where we're conceding first few minutes or first minute under Oli and stuff like that. Even Ralph, more so Oli. And now we're in a position where we find ourselves where it happened again. And look, I understand these things can happen in football. It happened in the opening minute. We switched off. I think maybe we underestimated the pace, or I don't know how we would in a rival game, especially from history where it's always been high tempo. But I feel like we switched off anyway. But what irks me more is that they would have gone into that dressing room. Erik ten Hag would have grilled these guys and been like, what are you doing? Lift your heads up, get your head in the game, be alert. These guys are pressing the hell out of you. And come in the second half, they do the same thing virtually. And it's just look, these two goals and the way we conceded it ultimately is what cost us the 3 points today. And Manchester United are in the game or in the habit right now. Maybe this is the teething process, but in terms of having that mentality monster throughout the complete 90 minutes plus extra time. Man United seem to lapse. We seem to lapse in concentration. And those lapses are vital. And they could prove vital, you know, this season in terms of top 4 or anything like that. So, man, it's a stressful situation.
But to see yesterday, you know, one of the things, like even considered a goal, yeah, fair enough. Sometimes it happened. And the problem is after that, how do you respond? How do you respond to that? You know, yes, we did had 2 opportunities or even maybe 3 with the Garnacho ones to the score. But what annoyed me is we didn't really equally in that first half. Leeds could have also scored another like 2 or 3 goals too.
That Strujic guy, you know, he got that. Was it the header saved or whatever it was? That Strujic. Yeah. They hit the post from the free kick as well.
I'm just saying, like, so it wasn't a case for where we just say, okay, you know what, maybe we were sleeping in for the first goal, so we're gonna fix up and then just literally show our dominance. It was far the opposite. You know, we made a game like end-to-end stuff when it shouldn't have been. You know, for a neutral, it was a very good game for them to watch. But as a Man United fan, you don't want that, especially like a team that is struggling at the bottom of the table. You just don't expect that. These are games where, as fans, you know, we go in there thinking like if we score 2, there's no way we don't get 3 points, you know. But to concede 2, to score 2 goals and then concede 2 and walk away with 1 point, to me, that's just unacceptable, you know. The whole thing, I don't know. I still feel like, I know Casemiro didn't play, but I still feel like Casemiro is actually hiding a lot of these team flaws. And there haven't been a much bigger change from last season to this season. I think, yes, the manager has come in, he's put a lot of things down there, but I'm talking about in terms of like the players themselves. I don't know, man. I still question a lot of them, whether they have like a long-term future at this club. The one that the manager came to meet here anyways, you know, I question them big time because I'm not seeing anything different from them. It's just the same old stuff all the time. It's just creeping in all the time. You know,
there's a big quality gap between Casemiro and these midfield and even Eriksen in terms of like the control in that midfield, picking up the right passes at the right time. There's a big quality gap. There's no doubt about that. And I feel like, you know, where I was hoping for in that game is to see Sabitzer, and Sabitzer did well. You know, he contributed where he could. You know, this is a high tempo game. I remember when Casemiro came and he just joined Man United and he was putting the firing line and he was looking a bit off the pace. We was here saying, you know what, he looks a bit sluggish, he looks a bit slow. He got into it. I feel like Sabitzer probably needs that time as well because the quality will shine through. But I do feel like that's a serious area, man. In that midfield, it's a serious area. It's like if Casemiro's not on point right now, who are we turning to? Look, we've got Leeds again. They're going to be like, you know what, more of the same, please. More of the same, please.
So Sabitzer, because it was his new game, obviously, tempo of the Premiership and everything, I felt like he started slow in the first half. Second half, I think second half, he kind of like go into a little bit rhythm where he was on the ball more and try to kind of like get into a little bit of things. So, you know what, it's his first game. I always kind of like, I'm very I don't criticize players when they come in new. I always wanted to give them a chance to. But yesterday, I was very disappointed in Fred because with all the injuries that we've had, and you know, people have a very strong opinion about him in terms of like being a scrap player and stuff like that. I was very disappointed with his display there because yesterday, I think it was a time for him to actually take responsibility in that middle to say, okay, you know what, those guys are not there. This is my time to grab an opportunity to just make a case for myself that even when Casemiro comes, maybe people are talking about him playing with Sabitzer. It's going to be the different one. It's going to be me. But yesterday, I was very, very, like, the performance that he gave was shocking, man.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is that's like, so you look at Sabitzer, right? Fresh in, starting in a high tempo game like that. Fred's got the experience. So it's Sabitzer. That guy, yeah, was grafting. He was grafting in a sense where he was one of the reasons why, what's his name, Rashford got his headed goal. He grinded, got that ball, passed it to Pellistri. Pellistri laid it onto Delors. Delors whips it in. Rashford gets his goal. The other time when he got a shot off, he forced a save from the goalkeeper. Now you're looking at Fred. Fred has been here. He's done that. He's got the experience with Leeds. He's played in these games before. He knows how it works with Scotty. Bro, he had like 3 opportunities or so. Nice, good opportunities. You understand? Fred goes and he hits it so tamely, and I know his finishing isn't his strongest point, but he hasn't even got accuracy as well with it as well. He was hitting it tame, and he was hitting it close to the keeper. It was just making it so easy, and I'm just like, bro, this ball kept on falling to the wrong person, and this is what brings me down to, like, it seems like Fred, and I know he's coming off of back to 2 goals back to back or whatever it is. He's on he got good vein of scoring form, but when you're seeing man's, I would have just like the roles flipped. And I don't know if like it would have been better. So Sabitzer was having that freedom to roam, like Fred was roaming, and Sabitzer maybe hold back. And Fred maybe hold back because, bro, we all would have thought, Sabitzer, he's got in his locker.
Honestly, though, but I got to criticize the manager too here too, because I was shocked. Yeah, he actually left Fred on the pitch for 90 minutes. I was shocked he done that because he was so bad. And when he took Sabitzer, I'm thinking to yourself, why are you taking him off? Because I was more confident with him. I feel like if he was on the pitch, those 2 chances that Fred got later on, I think he scored one of them. I think he really, because I saw him do like a long range shooting in the first half. That nearly scored. I feel like if he was in there, he take one of those chances. So I was very surprised with the manager changes. So not only with the whole first substitution too, even with the Garnacho one too. Garnacho was having a very poor game.
Ayling pocketed him, bro. The physicality.
After the 2 chances that he missed, which he could have probably like passed it to, but then again, he's a forwarder, so I'm going to give him the benefit of that. But after that, you can tell that he lacked confidence. He wasn't able to go past his man. His decision making was very poor. I was very surprised that he actually, even started the second half, because Tim Hart has been known for being ruthless, where when players are not doing good, he yanked them off at halftime and changed it. How many times have we seen him do that with like a Fred or even a Scott McTominay? He done that, so I was very surprised that he kept him on. And even the second goal, you could probably put it a bit down to him because he didn't clear his lines. He got up the ball, and the goal kind of like came in. So
on that point, yeah. So wait, I saw like Garnacho, he posted after that game, and he's had him like slapping the ground at OT, saying, when things are not going, something along the lines of when things are not working out, just know that God has it under control or something like that. So he's upset about his performance. And he had clear-cut chances as well. He had about 3 himself. He done all the right things. That one where Woba blocked it, he brought down the ball, controlled it. One where he knocked it wide outside of the post. Another one where he got on target, but the ball was a save. He had clear-cut opportunities. Bruno was feeding him. But my thing, and then Ayling at other times was just henching him, physical, just, matching him with speed, strength, everything, overpowering him. But my thing is just like, with Erik ten Hag, I think one of the things that we can kind of respect, I wouldn't say commend, I would say respect about him, is the fact that when he's going into these games, he's going into it with his strongest team. We queried it with the EFL games, we queried it with Reading games, with the Reading FA Cup game about, is he going to go in with his strong team? Is he going to go in with a strong team? He's going to rest guys, whatever like that. In the EFL Cup, he's going straight gung-ho. Do you know what I mean? He's playing Casemiro and all of these games, like where he's, 1 yellow card away from getting a ban. He's playing him still, where we got that ban against, in the Crystal Palace game where he missed Arsenal. He goes in. Now, it just raises the question. No, obviously, Sancho came and he looked sharp. He's a guy that maybe it didn't look like Erik ten Hag wanted to play the full 90 minutes. Why is it that Erik ten Hag didn't start with Sancho? Being that's your strongest lineup, your strong, and then bring on Garnacho, like what he does usually when he's playing the strongest first, rather than doing it the other way, because it seemed like he brought, he did it the other way, and that seemed like a wrong decision. In hindsight, anyway, it seemed like a wrong decision.
No, but I don't think it was a wrong decision, because look, we don't really know what happened with Sancho anyways, and whatever, we're hearing it was to do with like mental health and everything. So whatever has gone on with him, because it wasn't nothing to do with injury. So if he's coming back, you need to like ease him in. The last thing you want to do is just be starting him and just like putting him back into like the spot like a guy. You need to ease him in. And with Garnacho, he's been playing for some time now. So match fitness wise, you will feel like Garnacho match fitness is ahead of Sancho. Now, my problem, it wasn't even about the Garnacho starting. It was about changing it in a time in which he could have probably changed it a second time. And then with Sancho coming on, and we saw the impact that I don't think they consider the second goal. And if we don't consider the second goal, I think we go on and win the game because the way we were playing, we had like about 2 goals in us. But what we couldn't do was afford a second one. So personally, I feel like if we did change a second half, I think like we would have come in more with a bit more kind of like a different type of like way of like attacking Leeds, and they would have had different like attacking what do you call it threat, because it wasn't just the Garnacho one too. It's also where he pulled Rashford. He put Rashford on the right wing, and he was not having joy there. The joy or at least like the place to kind of like go through was on the left hand side. That seems to be like their weak point. And I feel like leaving Garnacho there for too long, knowing that someone else could go there and exploit them and create chances for them, that was the bit that I wasn't happy with. And he should have changed it earlier on before that. Because once we change it, Sancho going on the left literally changes the mood too. And also on the, what do you call it? One of our goal came from the left-hand side through Sancho. The other goal too came from the right-hand side, by Pelistri coming on to just go. So as I said to you, if he did make that sub earlier on, they would have probably had a bit more time to impact the game more.
That's the thing though, when we equalized and it was 2-2, I was looking at the clock thinking, I don't even know, was it 70-something minute or whatever? I was like, yeah, like we're going for this thing, we're gonna win. And it just kind of just stifled out, and we didn't get that last winner, man, which is upsetting. But talking about Sancho, you got to talk about it. He comes back, he done that celebration, Rashford's trademark celebration, even though a lot of people saying, Neves came out saying it's his, all of that stuff. But he does the celebration. And when Rashford was asked about that celebration, he talked about, going through some mental challenges and stress outside of the work, as well as football, his work. Sancho did that yesterday, made me think that, whatever the reason, what happened, why he was taken away, had an impact on his mental health as well, like as a result of what was going on, or whether it links back to World Cup or whatever it is like that. So it was good to see him get involved. And the hunger was there. You see him post saying, it feels so good. I forgot how good this feels. It feels so good to be like having this feeling. So, in terms of Erik ten Hag and how he manages the players, I see him doing a really good job with that, because he's got the hunger, he's got the fire in the belly of Rashford, and he's got the fire back in the belly, you would hope, with Sancho. And I think that would set us in good stead going forward. Wan-Bissaka as well, he had that hunger. Like, so whatever he seems to do when he takes them away from the pitch and when he reintroduces them, they've got that hunger. And you know what? I'm just glad to see that these guys are responding well. They're responding well to what Erik ten Hag is trying to do, because he means well of these guys. It means well. But look, Rashford, he got a proper goal, man. Headed goal. You don't really talk about our strikers like Rashford getting headed goals, man. And he's got like, I don't even know if it's like 6 in a row. He's on like 21 goals all season. In all competitions, this season so far. He's on fire. This guy's on fire, man. He's on absolute fire. And Manchester United are lucky that I keep going on about Rashford, but I keep going on about my guy, Starboy. You see him in every game, he's contributing and he's supporting. Look, what do you think he's going to end up with this season, man? Goals in all competition.
Well, I think right now he's
catching Haaland,
Yeah, he's the guy in front for my team. How many goals has he got in all competition now?
I think Rashford's got about 20 or 21 in all competitions.
Yeah, he can probably get like 30, which is great achievement, especially from where he came from. Last season, But I always say that there's still more to his game that he needs to develop. But well done to him. As I said to you, as a striker, look, you can do so many things wrong as long as you're scoring a goal. Nobody is talking about it, And yesterday, he took his chance very well, That game, he took it well. It was a shame that he couldn't have more chances kind of like created for him to kind of like score that too. But I think when he went to the middle, it suited us more. I think Leeds was more scared about him getting in behind compared to when Weghorst was there. I think with Weghorst, they were not scared because he lacked a bit of that pace to get in behind them. So when he went in there, I think that the center backs naturally they were worried about what kind of like space they were leaving behind, and I think we kind of like benefited more because it meant that Sancho had more time on the ball when he got it too, similar to Pelistri too. So it'll be interesting to see what the manager does in the second game when we play them. Where to put Rashford, especially if Anthony is not fit. Does he then still stick Rashford on the right? Does he put him on the left? Does he put him up front? Because Weghorst seems to be struggling in this team playing as a centre forward because most of the other players doesn't know how to play to his strength. Yesterday, he was on the pitch, not even, I think when he was on the pitch, only like one cross came in or so. He left the pitch and then crosses was flying left and right. Like, it was amazing, man. It was amazing. I think at this point, he's going to feel like they're playing against him.
Do you know what, yeah? Like, this is twice in quick succession where we saw Weghorst got subbed off, Martial came on, the game flipped like that. We just looked a lot more attacking and fluid. And now in this game against Leeds, we subbed off Weghorst, we put Rashford up top, and then we brought on Sancho. And again, we looked a lot more dynamic, a lot more fluid, interchangeable. Like the ability to do that was there. And my thing is like I mean, people's been talking about Weghorst's work rate. Obviously, he's slow and he's not got that speed element. But in terms of his work rate, he really does try hard. He gets back, he tries to get involved, he tries to press. But in terms of an attacking sense of things, like he'll try to bring guys into the game as well when he's on the ball. But from an attacking sense of things, like when the ball like does get hoofed up, I feel like there's times where Weghorst could be doing better to get the flicks on or hold up the ball and control and just buy us some time. And also, like in terms of like, I mean, I was just doing some checks around his stats as well. And I don't know when this report was written, but I saw like one stat of like him having like 125 goals. And of those 125 goals, 124 of those was in the box. Only one was outside the box. And I know he's like 6'5" or 6'6" or whatever it is. People automatically think, like we need to be whipping in the ball and crossing it to Weghorst to be scoring headers. But in actual fact, out of that stat at that given time, he only scored like 30 something goals, maybe like 34 goals or something along the line, out of that 125 goals that he scored with his head. So it just makes you think like he's a poacher, and he's a poacher. And Manchester United, the type of football that we're playing, we're not playing that. When we didn't have the wingers in terms of Garnacho and, I mean, let's say Rashford. Rashford's first instinct is to cut in, boom, 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 boom. We're not working it into the ball, even though we've got Anthony who likes to do that. It's only now that he's really been establishing that link with Aaron Wan-Bissaka, where it allows you to progress the ball and try to work it into the box for someone like him to get a tap in. But I just feel like in order to get the maximum amount of Weghorst, we need probably different wide wingers. But then Erik ten Hag loves the boy Rashford, like we were saying offline. So how's he going to resolve that issue? Like, is Weghorst the right signing or the wrong one?
But the thing is, even yesterday, if Garnacho chose to, because both times that Garnacho was through to go, Weghorst was right next to him, and if he did actually pass it to him, he could have had 2 tapping goals. So he was in a right position to be at the end of the attack. It's just the wingers or different players chose differently. So I think right now he's struggling with the other players not understanding his game too. As I said to you, we don't really work the ball into the box so well for him to be able to like feed on to. They don't play to his strength. So it's just a case of like, and I don't know, there's a thing about our attacking players where they struggle to adapt to other players when they play different to how they play, Rashford, Martial, Bruno, to the extent they just know each other's game so well that when other people come inside, I think at times they want to play like how they're playing with those players. So it's hard for other strikers or other attacking players to come in. That even Anthony, you've seen that when he since his game, he's struggled to have an impact, and his chemistry with the other guys have not been great. It's just now that he's slowly starting to kind of like come into games too. But I think with Weghorst, it's similar to maybe he need more time with them in order for them to start working too, or if it's a case where the manager feel like it's costing a team, then he need to also find a whole different kind of like angle to that. And let's not forget, we signed him to be a backup guy, but because of Martial injuries, he's been thrown into the deep end to be the main guy when that was not the plan anyways too. But it's just United. If you're not scoring goals, we don't really see your value anyway. But I think overall, he's doing the good stuff for the team. He just needs to be at the end of scoring the goals, But whether he's going to be able to do it with this current team or not is very debatable because, as I said to you, they don't play to his strength. So I don't know. I think it's going to be one of those ones where it might end up in terms of like the fans' point of view, they will see as a not a successful loan spell, but maybe from the manager point of view, he will see as successful because he will be able to kind of like teach the other players how to play in terms of like his style of way. Anyways, that's
You know
how I
what,
see it.
Sancho looks like he could fit in with that style of players. You can see, like, I think like his decision making is just so spot on. When he came on that pitch, he reminds me in ways of Grealish, where he gets the ball, he can drop a shoulder, get past you. He's not prolific, he's not got mad speed or nothing like that, but he's got the dribble sense where, you know, it's hard to take the ball off him. He can get out of tight areas, which Grealish can also do. And he picks that pass, he picks that right pass. He'll hold you up at the edge of the box, and he'll put his head up, pick out a pass, and Sancho does that. And when you've got guys like Weghorst there waiting for, where you said it with Garnacho, he didn't lift his head up. Weghorst is there. He could have had an open shot at goal, open tap-ins potentially. This is where Sancho makes the difference. I see Sancho always getting his head up. All his first instinct is not necessarily to shoot, it's to find and provide. And if that don't happen, then you can see he got that little second opportunity where he was able to score and get that shot off on goal. So he's the perfect balance. And I just feel like with Manchester United, obviously we've got Rashford, we've got Martial. Look, these are Man United. From what I've seen in our football so far, we thrive when we've got guys that are dynamic and really good with link-up play. Now, when Martial's playing, he's dynamic, he's really good with link-up play. Sancho, you've seen it, dynamic, good with the link-up play. Anthony, he's looking for those runners, those overlaps. He wants to do the link-ups. He's crying for it. Do you know what I mean? He wants, when he done that pass, reverse pass into Casemiro as well in a previous game, can't remember where it was. Again, our players are crying out for that type of ball. And in my mind, I feel like Sancho is a guy that needs to start. But how do you start Sancho where you've got Bruno playing in that number 10? How do you play Anthony if you're putting Bruno out to the right? How do you fit in a striker who's going to eventually replace Martial? Do you know what I mean? And then, you know, so Rashford's position there is potentially gone up top, and then you know you can't put Sancho and Rashford on the same starting lineup. But for me, I just feel like you need people like Sancho, Eriksen on a pitch where they can link up with each other with Anthony. Do you know what I mean? And help slipping through balls through Rashford as well. You need that, and I don't know how he's going to manage to get that balance right.
I think the thing is, obviously, as is now, that the manager hasn't fully got his players yet too. So what he now have to work with is he got players that have been with like different previous managers that play a different style to what he want to do. So this season was always going to be like about working with what he got, you know, and working with what he got is that at times players will revert back to what they know or what they used to. And I think as manager, he has to kind of like deal with it. But ultimately, it's going to come to a time where he needs to make this decision too. Because as you explained, Sancho game, Sancho more or less is like a wide playmaker. You know, he play on the wide like he's a playmaker, as normally how a 10 would do in the middle, but he does it or on the wings, similar to what Anthony does. And it's very key for them when they have runners around them so that they can put in like these true passes, look up and pick up other players too. And I think the manager is a big fan of that, because he did pay almost 100 million euros for Anthony, and that's Anthony's game too. So naturally you will feel like he probably prefer Sancho on the left, but it's about Rashford too. The guy is in form. His scoring goes both in the middle and also on the left wing too. So how do you leave a guy off like that too? So look, it's a headache for the manager.
This is the thing, like when you see Rashford, it's an individual thing. When you see Sancho, he brings other players alive. Bro, when I was like, bro, like, we actually got Luke Shaw as left back when Sancho came on. I saw the link up there overlapping. I didn't see that with Garnacho there.
Yeah, that's what I said to you. I think the manager need a element of both, because even with Sancho too, it's not every single time that he can do like that link up play. At times too, he will need to be direct. I always say it's always good to have the balance with players when they know when to be direct and they know when to do the link up play. Ultimately, look, I think as fans we're gonna have opinions and everything about who need to play where, but it all comes down to the manager. They get paid the big money to make those kind of like decisions too. So he needs to find a way of getting the best out of both Sancho, Rashford, and even the players that he bring in too, and create a winning formula too. But remember, me, if you ask me for opinion, I really enjoy Sancho on that on the left hand side, man. It kind of like suits what my preference of football or how I want to see football. And he did play very good too. So if I was him, I'll probably push Rashford to as a striker and just leave Sancho there on the left for the time being too. But only time will tell.
Who was your man of the match?
It's hard, you know. It's hard to choose a man of the match based on that hand of it. No. Ooh. Oh, that's hard. That is hard. That is hard. I'm trying to figure out who even had a good game yesterday. I would give it to Sancho. I'll give it to Sancho just because
Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't. As I said to you, he's probably had a bad 2 or 3 months. We don't know what happened to him, but whatever he is, like it's always good when players go through some stuff and then come back strong, you know. And yesterday, I was so happy for him when he scored. We should have got a win to kind of like celebrate that. Ultimately, he came, he made an impact and rescue a point for us there too. So, yeah, he has been my man of the match, man. You know, as a way to just show people that no matter what you go through, look, there's always light at the tunnel. Just work hard and you can come back, man. So that goal was really down to like his hard work of literally working hard to come back onto that football pitch, man. So yeah, he has to be the man of the match.
I respect it. I'll probably say, I mean, I think if Sancho had more minutes, I would have given it to him because he changed the game, literally changed the game. But I'll probably say Martinez is my man of the match. I think like again, like his work slightly went under the radar and got overshadowed by Sancho. But yeah, Martinez is a beast today again. Like right place, right time, forward thinking, last ditch challenges he makes all the time. Do you know what I mean? Clamping guys in a box, which is tough one. And you're thinking, oh my days, you got to be getting this right, otherwise it's a penny. He's doing those challenges with a bit of aggression and he's getting the ball cleanly, and he's just removing us from headlines that we could find ourselves in. Removing ourselves from the Daily Mirror, the Daily Mail, the Sun, all of that. He's removing that because of those challenges like that. So for me, man, Martinez gets another solid performance. But Sancho, shout out to him, man. He's back. Sancho is back. Hopefully he can push onwards and upwards. And look, he gets himself fully established in this team, man. Because look, the world needs Sancho. The world needs more of this.
Yeah.
The world needs more of that, man. It needs more of that. But bro, thanks for joining me. It's another show concluded. OT99 Banter Room. Guys, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts on what you thought of the game. Let us know whose fault you thought it was, or if it was just a collective thing. Look, I reckon that he should have started Sancho. You know, I think you always got to go with the strongest team. At the same time, you got to make in-game management, make those subs where it counts, and he did. But I think it might have been a shade too late. But look, let us know what you think. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, forward it to your friends. Tune in for the next one. Leeds again. This time, payback. Until next time, peace.
Peace.